heard you survived Italy under Mussolini, and we brought you here to ask you some questions. Sounds good, I can do that. Well, let's get the interview started with this question. How do you remember Mussolini rising to power?
Well, I remember the day that I was told that Mussolini and other leaders had marched up to Rome and forced the king to give over power. Him and the leaders seized power from the king in, I believe it was Italy, 1922.
Sounds good. Do you remember any of the organizations your dictator belonged to, or maybe have created?
From what I heard around Italy, it seemed that Mussolini was heavily into fascism, so I kind of guessed that he was part of the fascist party from the start of his reign to the end. However, I also heard rumors around Italy that he used to be part of a socialist journaling company, which I did find out to be true. But other than that, I don't really know many other organizations that Mussolini was a part of.
Sounds about right. Do you remember any methods that you may have seen your dictator use to maintain power?
I didn't really notice at the time, but there used to be many more parties that could take control of Italy. The Socialist Party used to be in, there was the Liberal Party, but after a while, Mussolini had ended all the other parties and had executed their leaders. They weren't allowed to talk, they were being censored. It was just a one-party state at that point. And then, every time I'd walk on the street, I'd always see posters of Mussolini and how great he was. But now, to this day, I realize that those might have been lies, and that they might have been propaganda.
We'd like to ask, how did the dictator justify rejection of liberalism to you and the people of Italy?
Back in the day, I hated liberalism because of what Mussolini had told us. Mussolini had told us that liberalism was for the individual rather than the nation itself. I was very prideful in the nation, so I believed him, and I further believed that liberalism was bad, and I hated it because Mussolini had told us that it undermined the state of Italy and that it destroyed us. He promised that he would build us back up from the damage that liberalism did. I believed him, and I believed his justification of straying away from liberalism.
Next question. How was the dictator removed from power? How do you remember it being?
From what I had heard, Mussolini had died after a long process. He was voted up by his own Grand Council in what I believe to be July 25th, 1943. Not long after Mussolini was arrested, he went to a meeting with King Vittorio, and then 2 years later after that, on April 28th, 1945, Mussolini died, and everybody lived happily ever after.
Do you know anything interesting about Mussolini? Anything weird or funny?
Do I know anything funny about Mussolini? Well, a lot of us back in the day believed that Mussolini was afraid of cats because nobody seen him around cats. So we knew that he was really scared of cats because he was never seen around any, and he never walked in one's path a day in his life. However, we also noticed that he really loved horses. You'd see him riding horses on propaganda posters to symbolize power, strength, and resilience. We all knew that he hated cats, but he really loved horses.
I never would have thought that Mussolini would be scared of cats and love horses. Thank you for your time, sir, and you can be off now. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for having me. I'll take my leave now.